Hi, this is Ishio and welcome back to Sable's Grimoire. We got in trouble with the principal again, but so far we're kind of scraping our way through. We've got a new opportunity before us and we're going to see where this can lead us. So rather than return to class straight away, I bide my time in the hallway outside of the principal's office, pacing back and forth as I come to terms with everything that just happened. When I was speaking to the principal, I just kind of went with the flow without really considering what I was agreeing to. Looking back on it now, I just agreed to something pretty amazing, didn't I? The freedom to do as I please. I can study whatever I want, whenever I want. No mandatory classes, optional tests, no specific subjects I need to take. It's like I've returned to my life as a shut-in, but with far greater resources at my fingertips. Despite understanding how great of an opportunity I've been given, my facial expression doesn't match the wonder expressed through my thoughts. As grateful and excited as I am, I'm also disappointed. Without thinking about it, I've just given up on my chance at having a normal life at the academy. I've not only defied the curriculum and been given a role which no student should have, but above all, I've willingly taken on responsibilities which will see me ostracised by my peers. Namely, I've become a hunter. Even if I'm satisfied with the principal's explanation, it would be foolish to think everybody else is going to feel the same way. With so much fear, uncertainty and doubt being spread, there's no way that the other students in my grade will think fondly of me when they learn of what I've just agreed to. I can still attend classes if I wish, but I can no longer call myself a student. Before melancholy can get the best of me though, I see a familiar pair of feet enter my field of vision. I raise my head and surely enough, standing before me is one of the few students who I can call my friend. Oh, Sable, what are you doing here? Did you set your desk on fire too? My mouth opened, but no words came out. Drakan's question takes me completely by surprise. No, I didn't do that. Should I take that as meaning... Yeah, you better believe it. You should have seen that baby burn. Okay, speaking of burning babies... Please don't finish that sentence. From what I hear, you're in enough trouble as it is. Oh, trouble? Don't be silly. I've got nothing to feel troubled about. Drakan grins happily as my warning goes straight over her head. Whether she's an optimist or simply oblivious, it would seem that the concerns of us mere mortals are not shared by her almighty king. So, if you didn't set your desk on fire, what are you here for? Did you try to eat one of your classmates? No, nothing like that. No. I hesitate for a moment, but ultimately refrain from asking Drakan to elaborate. Whatever she's been doing to get called to the principal's office so frequently, that's between Drakan and her victims. Not to brag, but I actually got called here because I was showing off in class. Really? What did you show them, can I see? I don't mind, but maybe not right now. Show me, show me! Feigning annoyance, I happily shake my head and draw up the same glyphs as I showed my teacher. Leaving a trail of ether dust in the air, I smirk triumphantly as my genius is put on display. Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, of course you don't. Even a mighty dragon couldn't. Your teacher was impressed by that. She must be a real dummy. Who would get excited over something as basic as that? I can feel my temples twitch as I listen to Drakan's feedback. Certainly, it isn't my most impressive work, but compared to what the other students here are capable of... Oh, so it's okay if it's lame, as long as it's better than what the other students can do? That's good to know. If the bar's that low, I'll have no problem studying here. My palms turn white as I clench my fists involuntarily. Whether she's insulting my work intentionally or not, Drakan has unknowingly stirred up my competitive nature. Oh, is that so? Sable's kinda full of himself, isn't he? Then perhaps you wouldn't mind showing me one of your original spells. Sable, are you feeling okay? Your face looks kinda funny. You got a poop? I'm just excited to see the world-renowned magic of a mighty dragon on display. Oh, okay. I'm not really good at coming up with new spells, but I could show you one Mama taught me. My temples stopped twitching and my eyes opened wide. While I might feel competitive towards Drakan right now, I'm not about to let that feeling blind me to the importance of what she just suggested. A spell created by a real full-blooded dragon. Without saying a word, I readily nod in response. Yeah, he's a magic geek after all. Okay, watch carefully, because I'm only going to show you this once. Here we go. The moment she finishes making her declaration, all of the excitement and joy instantly vanishes from Drakan's face. Her big, toothy grin morphs into an expression more serious than any I've ever seen her wear before, bringing about an immediate change to her demeanour. The light disappears from her eyes, and when Drakan opens her mouth once more, I unconsciously shiver in both anticipation and awe. Flames of purgatory, relinquish thy eternal bond. Manifest among the living once more, and burn all that you touch to cinders. Dye this world red as blood flows endlessly in your wake. Lend thy kiss to this dimension, such that heaven and earth may once more know your power. Spoken in a voice bereft of emotion, Drakan recites an ominous incantation. Ether, so thick that even a normal human would be able to see it, it swirls around Drakan's body slowly. It increases in mass every second, quickly growing out of control. Unrefined, yet frighteningly powerful. Inelegant, yet awe-inspiring. Drakan commands ether so dense that no mage alive should be able to handle it. What's more, she does it with ease, directing the ether without any difficulty whatsoever. So this is the true power of a dragon. Frozen solid, I can only watch as dark flames dance around Drakan's body. Ignoring every obstacle they come across, the flames melt the walls around us in a heartbeat, incinerating the Academy's bedrock and leaving nothing in their wake. Flames of unbridled power, which somehow do not emanate any heat whatsoever. This is magic I could never even hope to wield, not in a million years. Please don't burn us. Whoa, 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 what do you think you're doing? Oh, come on, you've got to be kidding me. Just as I'm about to become entranced by Drakan's spell, a familiar voice calls out. Peeking his head out of his office, the principal looks around the hallway, both amazed and horrified, as he tries to find the words with which to make Drakan stop. Amazing, the flames are actually... I mean, no, stop it. You stop that right this instant, young lady. How many times have I told you not to practice casting spells inside? Instead of heeding the principal's words, or turning to face him, Drakan briefly glances toward Iron out of the corner of her eye. She does not look at him in the manner in which a student would normally stare at her teacher. Rather, for just a split second, there's a dangerous gleam in her eye, almost akin to that of a predator analysing their prey. Understood. Shut that shit down. Wow, that was scary. While the principal handles the repairs of the hallway leading to his office, Drakan and I head out to the courtyard. Due to the severity of the damage that Drakan's caused, it's possible that restoration magic, the magic used to fix the doorway Drakan incinerated on her first day, might not be a possibility. In all likelihood, the hallway will be off limits for a while, and the principal will need to relocate to another office. Wow, the principal sure was angry. I've never seen him get like that before. Ah, really? He usually gets way more worked up than that. Usually? Just how many times have you been sent to the office the past 3 days? I mean, maybe 8 times? No, I guess this makes 9. Wow, that's really not something to be proud of. Just now in particular, you went way overboard. Yeah, but you're the one who told me to do it. I asked you to show me a new spell, not set the Academy on fire. I don't get it, I don't see your point. Of course she doesn't. Sighing deeply, I decide to try another approach. Drakan, this isn't the first time you've been sent to the principal's office for destroying Academy property, right? Don't you think you should stop? Surely you knew you'd get into trouble for what you just did. Well, yeah, but it's not like I'm trying to cause trouble. I just can't help myself. Destruction is second nature to dragons, whether it's setting elven villages on fire or tearing down stone castles with one's claws. Okay, so that's kind of informative. But if you keep it up, you're going to get expelled. Are you not worried that the principal's going to kick you out? I mean, I hadn't really thought about it. Maybe I should make him happy by doing that thing he said. That thing? The hunting thing? Oh right, I forgot about that. The principal said he suggested it to you, but you hadn't decided yet. Yeah, haven't really thought about it since you brought it up. What was it again? Something about eating humans. Of course it isn't. Why would he suggest something like that? I'm kidding. Seriously though, what was the hunting thing about again? Drakan wasn't joking at all, was she? Now wary of Drakan's increasingly evident destructive impulses, I relayed to Drakan my understanding of Ain's explanation. The March Republic Order, better known as the Hunt, is a campaign in which some magic users who are familiar with both human and demi-human society partake. Most of the participants are demi-humans, and their primary goal is to aid other demi-humans who are in trouble, or to reprimand demi-humans who are running amok. In short, they're like the police. The police? Wow, that sounds familiar. They're like knights, right? Kinda, yeah. So I'd go around fighting bad guys, saving princesses and conquering other kingdoms? I doubt that. Drakan, do you have any knowledge of human society, aside from what you've learned from your mother? Nope. Don't sound so proud of yourself when you say that. I'll suppress my urge to scold Drakan, and instead take a moment to think over what we've been discussing. Drakan is absurdly powerful, I'll give her that, but her lack of common sense and her appetite for destruction are worrying. If she were to join Lisha, Nam and I when we start hunting, would spending time away from the academy be a good learning experience for her? Would it become an opportunity for Drakan to channel her destructive impulses, and to use her tremendous power for the greater good? or would thrusting Dragon into the middle of a human city have the opposite effect? What if allowing Dragon to participate led to a greater number of innocent bystanders being inconvenienced, if not harmed by our actions? I don't think that Dragon would do anything intentionally, but even so, can we really risk exposing her to that many people so suddenly? I mean, she's kinda been in school for 3 days, been summoned to the principal 9 times, but she's not actually hurt anybody, has she? Recommend if she doesn't join the hunt, invite her, leave it up to her. Nah, come with, let's do this. You know what, Dragon? If you want to learn more about human society, perhaps you should accept the principal's offer after all. You mean his offer about the hunt thingy? That's right, you'd be able to get out of class every now and then, and at the same time, you get to see for yourself what modern human society is like. I don't know, isn't that hunt thingy all official and junk? The name made it sound interesting at first, but the elf told me all kinds of other boring garbage too. I mean, there's order involved, certainly, but it doesn't mean it can't be enjoyable. I'm coming too, you know, so, oh, you're going? Okay, count me in. Interrupted mid-sentence, I stare blankly at Dragon as she agrees to my proposal all too easily. I mean, are you sure? Just like that? Don't you want to give it some thought, or look into what you'd be doing a bit more before coming to a conclusion? Why would I? The best way to find out if something's fun or not is to kinda do it. Besides, even if it isn't fun, you're going to be there with me, aren't you? So we'll just have to make it fun. I'm beginning to think I've made a mistake here. While I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying your job, I've got a feeling that Dragon won't hesitate to shirk her duty in the search for excitement. Okay, right, speaking of human society, forcibly grabbing my attention once more, Dragon suddenly raises her voice. I've been thinking that I should start researching modern human civilization more thoroughly. I don't have any concrete plans just yet, but when I do, is it okay if I ask for your help? Wow, my help with researching human society? I'm probably not the best person to ask, given that I was a shut-in not too long ago. But sure, if I can be of assistance, I'll do my best. Thanks, buddy. I knew I could count on you. I'll let you know as soon as I've got the details sorted out. Okay, this is gonna be fun. It will. Suddenly worried about the intent behind Dragon's words, I watch her receding back as she quickly makes her exit. Whatever it is that Dragon's got planned, I clearly didn't get the full story, and in all likelihood I'm not going to approve of the end result. For the time being, however, I have no choice but to wait and see, and when the time does come for Dragon to call on me, I'll show an appropriate amount of caution. Yeah, she's going to burn the place down if we don't watch her. Rather than risk invoking the ire of my stomach, I decide to head to the cafeteria early before class gets out. Thankfully, the cafeteria workers don't seem to care that I'm early, and I'm able to order lunch despite the fact that students are all supposed to be in class right now. Just as I'm receiving my lunch, the bell signifying the end of class rings, and I hurry over to a table near the back. Moments later, the first couple of students arrive. Ah yeah, lunchtime. Best time of day by far. Apart from dinner, I guess. My face twitches as a familiar figure enters my line of sight. Without thinking, I turn away from the glutton who just showed up, and I cover my plate as I eat, attempting to discreetly... Oh, food! I mean, Sable. Ah, shit. I hurriedly shovel the food into my mouth before the ever-starving Rokurokubi can reach my table. Risking indigestion, I eat far more quickly than usual, intent on finishing my meal before half of it can mysteriously disappear. Wow, Sable, my good friend. Yeah, I'm too slow. I slowly turn my head, casting a sideways glance toward my good friend. Don't try it. Try what food? Since when is it my name? Okay, seriously, Ray, how did you even get here so quick? Did you actually attend class? Of course I did. I'm not going to risk losing my allowance by skipping class. That being said, I've lucked out. The teacher I had for my class just now was a bit slow, if you know what I mean. Even if I leave a few minutes early or spend half the lesson in the bathroom, they're not going to notice. I refrain from pointing out the fact that Ray has no right to call someone else slow and instead choose to advance the topic at hand. Okay, so you got to the canteen early. Now what? Have you got enough money to buy anything? I mean, you see, about that... Ray laughs nervously while stealing the occasional glance at my lunch. Let me guess, your plan is to beg other students for food. I mean, what are you talking about? Me? Beg for food? Don't be silly. Yeah, I'm going to take that as a yes. This is ridiculous. I can't believe you already stooped to begging for food. Hey, I can't help it if my allowance is low and the cost of food is higher. Actually, you can do something about both of those problems. Spend less time eating and more time studying. That's going to bring your rank up, which will in turn... Boring. Only a nerd like you would come up with a dumb solution like that, you nerd. Yeah, I'm never sharing my lunch with you ever again. But why? I've been asking myself the very same question. Why do I subject myself to the craziness of people like Ray? Why did I come here to eat, rather than abuse my newfound freedom and go into town and buy instant food? I've said and done so many questionable things lately, it feels like I'm due for some self-reflection. Oh Sable, you meanie, you know that all of us Rokurokubi have big appetites? Ah man, no sooner have I written Ray off than my ears begin to prick up. My eyes slowly return to Ray's face, and I decide against my better judgment to open my mouth. All Rokurokubi, you say? Oh, did I not tell you? I might not look big, but at my full strength, my neck is 30 feet long. Big bodies need a lot of food, you know. Suddenly wide awake, I give Ray my full attention as I begin taking mental notes. Wow, they get that long, do they? What about the texture? I've read that the necks of Rokurokubi are like rubber, but I'm pretty sure that's in terms of flexibility, not texture. Does it feel just like a human neck? Are the veins, bones and muscles the same as humans? Can it twist around freely, or is the movement limited? Sable, you're kinda getting close here. Oh, and what's with the deal with the whole extending thing? Is your neck currently super compressed? Is the rest of your neck somehow contained within your body? Or is it some kind of stop it? I don't know these things. How could I possibly know any of this? Ray takes a step back, seemingly shocked by my barrage of questions. Seeing her reaction, I pull my head back and face my plate once more. Oh, sorry. My curiosity got the best of me for a moment there. You look just like a human being to me, so I keep forgetting that you're actually demi-human. Oh, it's fine, really. If anything, I'm actually kinda glad that you're interested. Most of the students here couldn't care less about Rokurokubi. Some of them even say that we're not real demi-humans, or they complain that we have it easy because we look like human beings. Really? I hadn't thought about it like that. I suppose it'd be easier for you to exist in human society than for certain other races. Though I never thought that other students would bully you because of it. They're not bullying me, they're just expressing their envy. I'll have you know that I've never been bullied, not even once throughout my entire life. Doesn't that just prove that the less fortunate demi-humans were right to complain? Swallowing that remark, I pick up my fork once again. Stare. Oh no. Stare. Okay, for the love of Ray, do you say no more? Without even letting me vocalise my proposal, Ray pulls my plate toward her, yanks the fork out of my hand, and takes a seat on the opposite side of the table. I wasn't offering you the entire plate. My words fall on deaf ears as the gluttonous Rokurokubi practically inhales the meal before her. While she makes short work of my lunch, I begin to wonder just how much of her earlier claim is actually true. Rokurokubi's neck. I understand the logic behind the larger body requiring more fuel, but does the same apply, really? I don't know. And if Ray really does require more food than most other students, shouldn't the Academy provide it for her? She might be telling the truth, but at the same time, I can't help but think that Ray just wanted my lunch. Shaking my head, I stand up and walk away from the table. Curious though I may be, I know better than to try to talk to Ray when she's eating. The mysteries surrounding the neck of the Rokurokubi will not be explored today. Unfortunately, this is one more topic I must put on the back burner and pursue in full force some other day. I really want to see her neck go. As another long day begins to wind down, I return to my bedroom for a good night's sleep. By the time I arrive, Tix is already sleeping soundly and the lights are all off. If I want to stay up studying or practicing magic, it's not going to be here. Okay, I guess I'll go to sleep after all. It's a bit early for me, but that just means I'm going to wake up early tomorrow, and it's not like a more normal sleep cycle is going to kill me. Rationalising my way out of any extra activity for the day, I sit down on my bed. I slowly lower my torso until my head is resting on the pillow, at which point I close my eyes and heave a lengthy sigh. Man, 3 days. I've only been attending Amadronia for 3 days, and yet my life has already changed quite substantially. As of today, I'm no longer a student in the conventional sense of the word. I even agreed to join the hunt, and I have made some rather interesting and powerful acquaintances. On the other hand, I've also come to the painful realisation that I'm utterly powerless when compared to some of my peers. I might be studious and quite exceptional at what I do, but outside of my own little world, I'm nothing special. The darkness filling my vision is soon replaced by my memory of a particular event from earlier today. The moment when Drakan scoffed at my feeble attempt to create a new spell and happily showed me what it means to wield real magic. I know it isn't fair to compare myself to a dragon, but it doesn't mean I can grow complacent and just shrug it off. If I'm going to stand out from the crowd, I need to do better. I'll find a way to create spells so amazing that even dragons going to have no choice but to acknowledge them. This is still just the beginning. What I do with my free time from now on as a student, with unthinkable freedom, what's going to be that defines me in the eyes of my peers. I can't afford to mess this up. New day, new adventures. Despite the fact that I fell asleep after my roommate last night, I wake up long before she does. As the sun barely begins to peek over the horizon, I get up, change into another set of the Academy's uniform, and leave my sleeping roommate in peace. Seeking to beat the morning rush for breakfast, I head straight to the cafeteria. Upon my arrival, I notice only one other student present. They seem to have just finished eating, and the moment they notice me, their eyes light up. Yo, Sable! For crying out loud. I sigh internally and walk toward Drakan. While I wouldn't say I'm unhappy to see her, I've only just woken up, and unlike me, Drakan always seems to be full of energy. Right now, I'm kinda too tired to keep up with her level of enthusiasm. Okay, maybe a spirited conversation with my demi-human acquaintance is going to help wake me up. Thinking optimistically, I stand before the ever-energetic half-dragon. Oh, morning. You're here bright and early today. I told you that I'm an early riser. It's a pity you didn't wake up a bit earlier yourself. I only just finished eating. I'm afraid that I'm more prone to staying up late rather than waking up early. I'll try to make a point of going to bed earlier though, now that I'm an academy student, so we might end up eating together after all. Cool, can't wait. Oh, maybe we can order something big and split it between us? Okay, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm not a big eater, so that's okay. I'll eat whatever you can't finish. Oh, but hey, before that, there's something I want to ask you. You got a question? Go ahead. I'm sure I'll be asking you enough questions over the coming years. Yeah, I'm looking forward to answering them. Okay, so my question is, do humans hate other races because they feel inferior toward them, or is it that they look down on other races? I stare at Drakan blankly, as an unexpectedly deep question reaches my ears. While I was prepared for a question about my personal life or my studies, I was not expecting such a serious subject to be raised so suddenly or so early in the morning. Okay, so you're wondering why humans oppose other races? Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, humans act superior, but then they get all defensive and frightened when they realise that they're not. Are humans like elves, you know, prideful and arrogant to the point where they look down on everybody else, despite their own inferiority? Or do humans know that they're inferior, so they try to assert their dominance in order to convince themselves and everybody else of their own delusions of grandeur? More stunned than I was a moment ago, I continue to stare at Drakan with my mouth wide open. In spite of her cheerful disposition and playful nature, it seems that the rumoured wisdom and curiosity of dragonkind is present within her after all. I might not be the best person to answer her question, but if Drakan wants my opinion, humans are arrogant and prideful, humans are weak and fearful, humans don't actually hate demi-humans. Honestly, I'm gonna go to the top. They're arrogant and prideful. If I had to pick one of those two explanations, I'd say that humans are simply arrogant. Just like the elves to whom you referred, we think of ourselves highly, even when we shouldn't. Sometimes we need a reminder that we're not as strong or as smart as we think we are, and when it happens, we often react poorly. Oh, I see. So humans are like elves after all. That's a shame. I was hoping that other humans were more like you. Like me? I don't know how you see me, but I'll be the first to admit that I'm the spitting image of human arrogance. If I've learned anything in my short time at Amadronia, it's that I'm a clear example of the excessive pride we humans cling to. Oh, you're arrogant? That's not the impression I got. It's not? Then how do you see me? Not that I particularly care or anything, I'm just kinda curious. Wow, you're proving my point without even realising it. Sable, you might take pride in what you do, but it's not like you block out the things you don't understand, or the things which conflict with your own beliefs. You know, those elves, they act all pompous, saying they're so great, and yet most of them never leave their villages. They cling to their own self-image, afraid to venture out into the world and be proven wrong. Elves are arrogant, Sable, you are simply confident. At worst, maybe a little overconfident. Wide-eyed, I stare at Drakan, somewhat amazed by her analysis, not to mention the eloquence of her rebuttal. Being the self-centered person that I am, however, what interests me more than anything is Drakan's unexpected impression of me. Anyway, that's just what I think, and it's not like I've met many other humans. If you say that I'm wrong, I'm not going to press the matter. No, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm glad to hear that your opinion of me is positive. Even if I tell myself that I don't care what other people think of me, it's nice to receive a little bit of positive reinforcement every once in a while. Putting aside what you think of me personally, I don't think I can give you a sufficient answer about humanity in general. Humans all have different reasons for feeling the way they do, whether they fear demi-humans, resent their place in society, or show interest in them. If you want to learn more about humanity as a whole, simply asking me isn't going to cut it. I see, so that's how it is. It seems I'll need to infiltrate human society after all. Infiltrate? What do you mean? Oh, did I say that? I mixed up my words again. Mama always said I was a bit of a ditz. Yeah, haha, yeah. Drakan laughs nervously as she tries to play off her choice of words as a mistake. Though sceptical, I decide not to dwell on the matter. Okay, at any rate, I hope my answer is going to do for now. I know it's not quite what you were hoping for, but it's the best answer I can give you. Nah, it's cool. I like honest people. Trying to get a straight answer out of Mama is like squeezing the blood out of a fairy. You mean blood from a stone, right? Oh, stone's got blood? I sigh and I shake my head. Never mind. If you don't have any other questions, I'm going to go get some breakfast now before the cafeteria is filled with starving students. Oh, actually, what I've got you. There's one other thing I wanted to ask. Just a teensy-weensy little favour between friends. I've got a bad feeling. Okay, what do you need? This is going to sound weird, but can you take me to a human city? A human city? I stare at Drakan skeptically as I repeat her words. Is this to do with what you were asking just now, and what you said about infiltrating human society? Oh, you got me. All I know about human society is what I've heard from you and Mama. I've never actually seen how humans live for myself. I wanted to check it out, but Mama warned me that human cities are dangerous, and that they're filled with all kinds of sneaky traps for dragons. Even so, I really want to go. I want to see what kind of place Papa grew up in, and how he lived with other human beings. So I was kind of thinking that maybe if I had a human come with me to guide me around, would that be alright? Drakan's explanation leaves me feeling both confused and exhausted. Traps for dragons? In a city? Man, just how old is Dragon's mother? Most of the world believes that dragons are extinct. Who the heck would be setting traps for them? That being said, I wouldn't go so far as to say that she's wrong. Even in this day and age, there are still plenty of places where demi-humans of all kinds are shunned, exiled, or even murdered on sight. Thinking about it like that, Dragon's mother might be right after all. Sable, is it no good after all? I don't know. Trying to sneak a dragon into a human city, it sounds like an unnecessary risk. Are human cities really that dangerous? That's a difficult question to answer, and I don't think it's one that would be appropriate for me to answer. I've never had any trouble, but I'm a full-blooded human myself. If someone like you who's clearly not human were to start wandering around a crowded area, there's no telling what kind of commotion your appearance would cause. My appearance. Is that all? Is my appearance the only problem here? I wouldn't say it's the only problem, but it's certainly the biggest one. So if I make myself look more human, it's going to be okay? What? No, what, you can change your appearance? To a degree. Let's see, wings, horns, tail. Okay, I've got this. I'll go practice making myself look more human, so think of a good place to take me. Dragon, I really don't think that... And she's gone. I breathe a heavy sigh as Dragon escapes with a spring in her step. Wow, what did I just commit to? Escorting a dragon around a human city? What could possibly go wrong? Oh wow, I'm really intrigued to see how that's gonna go. After speaking with Dragon, I make my way back to my dorm room once again. It's still too early to head to class, and I can't afford to get sucked in by the allure of the academy library, so I decide to study in my room until it's time for class. Man, why am I so tired this morning? Maybe I should stop putting all-nighters. I slept even less than usual last night. Even though I went to bed early, I woke up a short time later and wound up visiting the library, intent on making up for the time I lost during the first day, and the time I spent socialising instead of studying. Suffice to say, my choice is now catching up with me. Oh, bad Sable, don't fall asleep now. A bit more studying, and then I'll go to class like a good student. And then, if I fall asleep in class, I'll make sure to... Uh-oh, I think we just fell asleep. Oh man, the moment that I feel my mind drifting off, my eyes suddenly open once more. My room is bright, and my body feels light, yet I sense that very little time has passed. I've been woken up unnaturally by something, or rather by someone... Good morning, sleepyhead. You must have been running yourself ragged to fall under my spell so easily. The moment those words leave Eris's mouth, I realise my misunderstanding. I've not woken up, rather I've been put to sleep, and my dream has been invaded by my teacher. Everybody knows that succubi and incubi can infiltrate the dreams of others, but I never thought I'd experience this for myself. Is Eris here to suck out my life force, like the stories say, or is she just abusing her power in order to speak to me privately? Either way. Wow, so this is the power of a succubus. Amazing. It looks and feels just like the real world. Of course it does. While we succubi might not be the most powerful demi-humans, this is one area in which we're never gonna lose. I'm sure you won't. Hell's illusions are impressive, but this is on an entirely different level. Just how much of the real world have you recreated in here? If I were to start running around outside, would I suddenly hit an invisible wall or fall off the edge of the world? Fall off the what? This is a perfect reconstruction of the real world. That includes gravity, air and everything else. You won't be falling off some imaginary precipice. Oh wow, it's that complex, is it? What about places you've never been to before? Can I fly to another country, even if neither one of us has ever been there in real life? I don't know, I've never tried. Then let's find out. Those wings aren't just for show, right? I don't have the wings myself, or the ether capacity to sustain flight magic, but I can at least nullify my weight. You fly, and I'll levitate while holding onto your tail. How does that sound? How does that sound? How does becoming a mode of transportation sound? I wouldn't put it like that. Think of it as a student and teacher bonding exercise. Wow, enough already. I didn't come here for the sake of engaging in pointless banter. Forgive my forcefulness, but I believe this to be necessary. Before I can ask Eris to elaborate, my body portrays her intent to me clearly. My vocal cords are frozen, as are my hands, my mouth, and even my eyelids. I cannot speak, move, or do anything else a being in possession of free will would usually be capable of. At Eris's command, I have completely lost control of my own body. Heed my words, child. I'm your teacher, and you're my student. Not only that, but I'm a succubus, and you are a mere human being. I am in every way your superior, and as one who's inferior to me, you have no choice but to obey my every command. Do you understand? I mean, yeah, I get it. Good, very good. My body begins to move once more. Rather than feel relieved by this development, however, the movement of my own body strikes momentary fear into my heart. Even though it's undoubtedly my own body, I'm not the one controlling it. Now then, Sable, be a good student and answer your teacher's questions honestly, okay? First off, explain to me what happened in class yesterday. How did you discover a spell like that? You didn't really create it yourself, did you? Answer honestly, resist the command, break the illusion. I mean, I don't know, we'll go with it for now. She might not believe me, given that she'd go this far just to ask me the exact same question yet again, but even so, with Eris's permission, my mouth begins to move. I mean, yes, you didn't what? I didn't lie. I created that spell all on my own. Impossible. Even under my spell, still you lie to me. I'm not lying, I kinda did. Shut up. Like I believe that a mere human could come up with something like that. Shit, how's this possible? I should have complete control in here. Unless... Eris opens her eyes wide and stares at me in amazement. You aren't human, are you? I mean, I am human. Like I'd believe a single word you say. You've been ousted, Sable. I know that you're not human. I am, liar. The only way a human could lie to me in my own domain is if... a third party intervened? Before Eris can jump to yet another hasty conclusion, her one-sided rant is interrupted by a familiar voice. Even though I can't see the interloper, Eris's body movement tells me that there's someone near the entrance of my fake dorm room. I should have known. You've been teaching this child forbidden arts, haven't you? Forbidden arts? Teaching those to a child would be problematic. Fortunately, that is not the case here. Even if I knew of such techniques, I would never be so irresponsible as to teach them to a human being. You expect me to believe that? Honestly, I don't care what you believe. The beliefs of a filthy succubus mean even less to me than the life of one. Wow, you spiteful, hate-filled little... Showing off even worse chemistry than they displayed when Raphael visited my class, the two teachers fight a small war of words as they seem to forget that a student's present. Realising that, I quickly seize the opportunity presented to me. With Eris's focus directed elsewhere, her control over me has waned. I still can't move my arms or legs, but I can now turn my head and close my eyes. Okay, Sable, you can do this. Eris's control here isn't flawless. If it was, I wouldn't be able to move at all, and Raphael wouldn't have been able to invade her realm. So, while Raphael distracts her... You know, Eros, if you weren't always so suspicious of other people, I think you'd be much happier. Like now, for example. Rather than admit your mistake, you seem intent on putting words in the mouth of your student and branding him a liar. Isn't that malicious, defensive, accusatory nature of yours making this entire confrontation far more difficult than it needs to be? Oh, spare me. The last thing I need right now is a lecture from some shitty angel. What the hell are you even doing here? can't you see that I'm having a private discussion with one of my students? It didn't seem much like a discussion to me. You bound that poor child with your lewd invasive techniques and then forced him to do your bidding. Doesn't that sound more like the behaviour of a rapist than a teacher? What the hell are you talking about? What part of this is lewd anyway? Your presence, of course. Just because I'm a succubus, it doesn't mean everything I do is somehow sexual. Really? Doesn't sound right to me. In fact, it was news of your sexual exploits that tipped me off to this little discussion of yours. Just a bit more, Raphael. Keep her talking a little while longer. I've just about figured out how this technique of Eris's works. All that's left is to actually break free of it and try to regain control of my own dream. While I quietly work away at freeing myself of Eris's control, the two teachers continue to bicker. Okay, what news is this? You better not be spreading rumours about me again. Me? Spreading rumours? Heaven forbid. What brought me here today was a peculiar event which many students have expressed concern about. As I recall, they said that the filthy Eris dragged someone out of class, locked them away in her sex dungeon, and made them into her personal meat doll. After hearing such a troubling rumour, it would be irresponsible of me not to come and see for myself, don't you agree? Meat doll? Sex dungeon? Are you out of your friggin' mind? Who's going to believe such a vile rumour? Every single first-year student who I spoke to. Oh, and the second-year students who overheard the first year's gossiping. Oh wow. It's over. My life at the academy is over. There's no way that I'll still have a place here anymore. Oh, Eris, don't be so dramatic. You haven't lost your place at Amadronia. You never had one from the beginning. Wow, I did it. I'm free. First hell, and now even Eris. I'm a freaking genius at breaking illusions. Now, if only I could figure out how to dispel the illusion which protects the underground facilities. Allowing myself to revel in self-satisfaction only for a moment, I look around the room at those present. Despite my outburst, Eris's eyes are fixed on the floor, and Raphael is glaring at her with a malicious gaze contrary to her appearance. Whatever happened between these two while I was concentrating on breaking Eris's illusion, Eris seems to have suffered for it. Did you hear that, Eros? Even children can break through your illusions. So much for the much-lauded mind control of succubi. Casting me only a fleeting sideways glance, Raphael disappears into thin air. She seems to have fulfilled her goal, whatever that was, and no longer has any reason to stay in my dream. Wow, I know succubi and incubi could enter the minds of others through their dreams, but I never heard of angels doing so. That is, assuming Raphael actually is an angel. Demi-humans who are high in number, or who have integrated well into human society, are generally quite well known, and learning about them is as simple as visiting a library. Some species, however, remain a mystery, either because they are near extinction, or because they're too wary of mankind to share information with us. Honestly, I've got no idea which category angels fall into. They're similar to dragons, in that they're rare to the point of being considered fables, yet there are mountains of records about them, all of which are inconsistent and contradictory. In this case, having too many unreliable witness accounts and old stories about angels has led to us not knowing if a single thing we've heard about them is actually true. So, are we done? Even if you don't believe me, I've answered you honestly, and I'm not going to fall for your tricks a second time. We're both supposed to be headed to class right now, so if you don't mind... Without saying a word, Eris, just like Raphael before her, vanishes into thin air. Seeing that, I breathe a sigh of relief and lay back down on my imaginary bed. Did my bluff about her magic not have any effect on me any more work? Because if Eris does try this again, I really don't have any confidence that I'm going to be able to repel her all by myself. I'd like to think that Eris simply chose to believe the honest answer I gave her question, but I somehow doubt that's the case. Choosing to give the matter no further thought, I close my eyes and attempt to go to sleep for real. I have no idea if my gesture will actually work. I've never had my dreams hijacked before, nor have I ever researched succubi in depth, so I don't know if falling asleep in here will cause me to awaken in the real world. Fortunately, my concerns are unfounded. The moment I close my eyes, my mind begins to drift away. Darkness fills my vision, Eris's fake world crumbles, and before I know it, I've returned to the real world once more. That was weird. That was weird. Okay, so I think that'll probably do for this gameplay. Quite a lot happened, and we'll find out more in the next episode. This is Usho signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.